Welcome to Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. Make your foot the foot that counts. In the highest court's halls, turmoil brewed. Judge Luttig's dismay, constitutional principles misconstrued. Elie Mystal Jr., Esquire's critique, justice's reluctance to uphold. Amid political winds, the rule of law left cold. Section 3's mandate, clear as day. Yet justices faltered, veered away. Judge Luttig stood firm, on legal ground. While Elie Mystal lamented, principles unsound. Trump's fate hangs, on legal tides. As the nation watches, where justice abides. In the Supreme Court's chambers, the battle rages. Between duty and politics, across history's pages. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution states, "No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States, or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath, as a member of Congress, or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each House, remove such disability." In the realm of constitutional scholarship and legal analysis, the ongoing case concerning the eligibility of Donald Trump for the 2024 presidential election holds profound significance. During the oral arguments regarding Donald Trump's eligibility for the 2024 presidential election, Elie Mystal Jr. is a liberal American attorney, writer, and political commentator. The nation's justice correspondent and author of Allow Me to Retort, A Black Guy's Guide to the Constitution, expressed disappointment in both liberal and conservative justices for casting doubt on the Constitution's application in this case. Judge Luttig, a retired federal judge, found himself unexpectedly drawn into the contentious battle over the certification of the 2020 presidential election. On January 4, while at his Colorado home, Judge Luttig received a call from Richard Cullen, a longtime friend and personal lawyer to former Vice President Mike Pence. Cullen sought information about John Eastman, prompting Judge Luttig to delve into an unexpected role. Ultimately using Twitter to assist Pence in resisting then-President Donald Trump's pressure. Judge Luttig, a proponent of strict textualism, firmly stands upon the constitutional foundation provided by Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. He argues that this provision explicitly disqualifies individuals engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the Constitution from holding high public office, including the presidency. Elie Mystal criticized the Supreme Court's interrogatories to disregard the plain text of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which clearly states that insurrectionists cannot run for office. He highlighted the justices' reluctance to apply the law to Donald Trump, citing concerns over the potential political ramifications. Elie Mystal noted that the legal arguments seem to prioritize political considerations over constitutional principles, which he found troubling. Their analyses are actually similar though coming from different spaces. He currently serves as the justice correspondent at The Nation, focusing on issues related to the courts and the criminal justice system. And Judge Luttig emphasized the significance of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment in disqualifying individuals who engage in insurrection against the Constitution from holding high public office. He maintained that this disqualification is rooted in the Constitution itself and is not inherently anti-democratic, as it safeguards democratic institutions. Judge Luttig addressed criticisms of the disqualification process by asserting that it is the conduct violating the Constitution that is anti-democratic, not the application of the disqualification provision. The foundation of this debate rests upon the original meaning of the U.S. Constitution, particularly Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which addresses the disqualification of individuals who engaged in insurrection against the United States. During the oral arguments, both liberal and conservative justices grappled with the nuanced interpretation of constitutional provisions. Justice Elena Kagan began these pivotal questions regarding the authority of a single state to determine presidential eligibility, emphasizing the national implications of such decisions. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson delved into the specific language of the amendment, probing whether the term office under the United States encompasses the presidency. Trump's legal representative, Jonathan Mitchell, defended against Colorado's assertion of Trump's ineligibility, prompting critical examination from the justices. Jason Murray, who served as a clerk for both Justices Kagan and Gorsuch, found himself confronted with probing inquiries from both justices during his inaugural appearance before the Supreme Court. Justice Brett Kavanaugh highlighted the democratic principle of allowing voters to choose their candidates, expressing concerns about disenfranchisement. However, the proceedings were marked by disappointment, as observers like Elie Mystal noted a reluctance among the justices to confront the constitutional implications head-on. Despite scholarly and textual analysis, there appeared to be a reluctance to apply the law directly to Donald Trump, potentially due to broader political ramifications. Judge Luttig expressed disappointment in the Supreme Court's questions, suggesting that they swayed from the core constitutional issues at hand. Moreover, the recent ruling by a D.C. Circuit panel rejecting Trump's claim of immunity from criminal prosecution sheds light on related legal battles. Elie Mystal emphasized the absurdity of the argument that a former president should be shielded from legal consequences for actions taken while in office. Looking ahead, the potential Supreme Court review of these matters looms large, with implications for the rule of law and the integrity of democratic processes. Judge Luttig's and Elie Mystal's analysis are rooted in a strict interpretation of constitutional provisions, with critiques of the perceived failure of the Supreme Court justices to adhere to constitutional principles. Judge Luttig asserts that the disqualification process outlined in the Constitution is not inherently anti-democratic, as it serves to safeguard democratic institutions by holding individuals accountable for conduct that undermines constitutional principles. Similarly, Elie Mystal's perspective also critiquing the perceived shortcomings of the Supreme Court's handling of the legal questions surrounding Trump's eligibility and immunity. Elie Mystal accuses the justices of ignoring their pledge to base decisions on the U.S. Constitution and instead prioritizing political expediency. He highlights what he sees as a failure of the justices to uphold the clear text of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which he believes unequivocally disqualifies Trump from holding public office due to his involvement in the January 6 insurrection. Both men expresses disappointment in the legal directions taken by the Supreme Court justices during the hearing, criticizing their perceived disregard for their pledge to make decisions based on the U.S. Constitution rather than political considerations. Both men's criticisms extend to the broader implications of the court's actions, suggesting that their failure to apply constitutional provisions undermines the integrity of the legal process and weakens democratic institutions. As the world's eyes fix on the highest court's seat, where justice is weighed, where verdicts meet Nations await the call. Yet it's the Supreme Court that holds sway over all. In the Chambers of Justice, a Reconstruction Guide. The Supreme Court question: by what will they abide? Much appreciation to you for giving of your time with us at Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. We trust you will come back soon.